I've had a lot of them. I'll tell you one. I didn't do it, but I got a big understanding what goes on in the world. And it's a thing that if more people did that, what I do, that it would be meaningful. I tell you, in Vietnam, I have a motorbike driver that I have for just when I'm there all the time. They just stand by me. I'm there. They take me any place. They interpret for me. So at evenings, I go out into the streets and I look for homeless children. And I find them. And I take them to the schools. I take them to the shelter and I introduce them to the NGO and say, I'll sponsorship this child if she passes to be qualified, if she's not lying and all that. So they do the homework and the checking out, and then if that child is really honest and doesn't have a home and isn't taking advantage of the situation, then I saved another one. And I have one that we was riding around, this was 3 years ago, riding around a motorbike at night, and the motorbike driver says, right over there's and he's driving, he's sitting on with the crutches and the arm in a sling. It's a guy. And I says, that's okay. We're already past. Keep going. So I says to myself, what would Jesus want me to do? What am I doing? Here's a guy, he's got crutches, he's got his arm in a sling, he's sitting over there and all alone, he's got a basket for money. So I say, well, let's go back and check on it. Okay, well, that's nothing. They just make a U-turn any place, and you're right there. So we do the talk. She does the talking, and she's telling him what she's asking him what happened. Well, it's a long story, but he got cut. He was working on a bus for a bus company, and he was putting luggage in the thing, and he helped the passengers get on and off. And he's just a skinny young guy. And so he's got this pants leg off, and he's got a cut from here to his knee and from his knee up here. And the crutches are there, all dirty and beat up. And he's got his arm in a sling, and he's holding his fist kind of like this, but you can't recognize the finger. It's burned so bad, and the pus is dripping off of it. And you know it's green. It ain't a fake. I mean, we're this far away from it. The Vietnamese, my driver, knows it's really there. And he's skinny as a rail and dirty, dirty, dirty. So I say, what's he saying? Well, he said he was working for a bus company, and a car came along when he was putting luggage in and run into him and cut his leg up and broke the bones in there. And he had to go to the hospital and get them fixed. And the accident got paid for by the car driver. And so then he was at home getting well, and he lost his balance, and he fell down, and to break his fall, he couldn't. He put his fist in red hot coals that were on the stove. And that's a normal thing over there. That's what they do. They keep the rice hot, they're cooking with red hot coals. So he gets his arm out, and he can't go, he goes to the hospital. They say, what happened? He tells them, they say, well, do you have insurance? No, no insurance. Well, we can't help you. You have to, well, how? And then they give him a price, $1,500, and they will either cut it off here, here, or here. The longer he waits, the sooner the blood poison goes up, and the further up he gets it cut. And his leg, he has to use crutches. He's crippled in 2 places now. If he got well, he would not have an arm. He's going to lose part of it if he goes in right away, and if he don't, he's going to lose the whole thing. So I say to him, I'll give you $30 right now. You happen to have that there. And I says, now I want you to meet me at the hospital at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we will go into the doctor that you go to, that you said, and I will pay for your operation. I will not give you $1,200 or $1,500. I will give it to the doctor, and then you can get fixed and go. Okay. But I says, I want your wife to come too. You know, they're so poor over there. They live with their parents. He gets married, and then they have to live at their home. So we get there at 9 o'clock in the morning, and sure enough, he is there. But he doesn't have his wife. We ask her, where? Oh, no, she can't come. Don't say no reason, just can't come. Then they start talking back and forth in Vietnamese. I say, what's going on? The interpreter says, he says that he doesn't want to go. Why don't he want to go in there and get it fixed? And then I can't figure it out. I'm looking at him, and then she says a little bit to him again, and then he tells her some more. And then she says to me, well, he wants to stay on the street until he's got enough money, and then he wants to get it on his own. Well, he's going to have to get all the money on his own. What's wrong with taking the money all on his own right now? So I said that tell him he's going to die before he gets that much money. And so she does, and then he won't go. He still won't go. And the reason is, I'll give you this right now. The reason is that his family, his wife and in-laws, he makes about $30 a day out there on the street, and he brings that home because they pick him up and they drop him off. And they don't want him to get that arm fixed. They cannot, if he lasts a month or 2 months, That's a lot of money for over there. And if they fix him, they're not going to get a penny. And he's going to come out of there, and he's a cripple already with his legs, so he can't even work. Even if he wanted to. And so they know that. So they know they don't have no alternative. That's the way they look at it. And so, and then when I look at him and I'm scolding him and they're interpreting it, then I'm telling him that I'm not going to help him no more because he won't get it fixed, and you're just going to take the money home and give it to the wife and the in-laws. That's what I told him. And then I'm going to go. And he just kept inching his way over to me, closer, closer. As I'm working my way to the bike to get on and go, he kind of follows with that sad look on his face. I mean, it breaks your heart just to see the desperation and this. It's so sad. It just makes you want to cry. And so we just rode off, and he just stand there and look at us. We know that his family is standing in the back behind a post or the crowd. You know, people are thick on them streets. But we go, and that's it. It's just a sad story. But it works sometimes, so let me tell you, I've done it.